who has some questions or some websites they want to go over?
I got one.
Okay. And what's the website?
It's canskyunlimited.com.
Okay. And who else has a question or a website to go over?
I have a question, Stefan. I want to get your thoughts on Clubhouse.
Oh, sure.
See what you know about it. See what you think's gonna happen.
Okay. All right. And what else we got? Hey, Freddie.
Freddie.
You're on mute.
Greetings, everybody.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Are you still in Israel?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I have my director of strategy here.
Google? Okay, I will do that. I think we're going with Google.
Yeah.
He's already talking. He's already talking search engine optimization.
That's right.
Can you say CEO? SEO?
That's funny. Yep. I should teach
How
him.
old is she, Stefan?
He's 16 months. Yeah. Yeah. Google.
Yeah.
That's funny. No DuckDuckGo for him. Privacy is a fallacy, so it's a myth. Nobody has it. So you might as well just embrace the dark side and go with Google.
You may as well. Hey. Hello.
He can't hear you because he doesn't have the earbuds. Okay, now he can. Look at that on my ear. All right. Who else has a website to go over or has a question that we want to discuss? Hey, it's Shaheen.
I certainly have a website. I would love to put the Brain Trust on.
Okay.
Leading the charge, and I'd love that.
I'm somebody's baby. Did I have a baby I know about?
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the website, Freddie?
Lifeintune.com.
Got it. Okay. Lifeintune.com. All right. So who else has a website or a question?
I do.
Okay, Shaheen.
You hear me?
And okay, so you want? Yeah, I can hear. Oh, actually, you're on mute now, Shaheen. No.
Yeah, dude. Now you rank number one for my freaking podcast, Stefan.
That's awesome. Well, I just noticed that a friend of ours who's a speaker and stuff, my wife Orion's podcast ranks number one for her name, Elise Risgar. So it's pretty funny. And yeah, one of my clients, Scott Donnell, I'm number 7 or something with my podcast episode of him on his name.
Yeah, your podcast is just crazy how it ranked. I mean, it was nowhere, and then all of a sudden, like boom, it's like number one results everywhere. So I want you to feed me all your tricks.
In fact, my wife's website, orionsmethod.com, which is where her podcast is housed, ranks number 1 now for love coaching, which is what she does.
Wow.
No way.
Awesome. Yeah.
Is that converting? Is she getting lots of customers that are buying from that?
No, but it's pretty cool bragging rights. She's actually so busy with with our baby that she doesn't have time to coach anybody because I'm so busy working. And as you can see, I've got when she's doing a podcast interview like right now, it's kind of just
That's the baby.
a major distraction to have our baby here. We
That'd
don't
be
have
great
any
add-on for a podcast too.
yeah, we don't have any nanny or anything like that, not since the pandemic. Anyway, so Shaheen, you dropped into the chat there your
I sent you a link too on the,
podcast.apple.com
chat.
URL. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from Freddie's though. He was first, so we should do his.
Yeah, we'll
Thank you,
definitely, I think we'll do, because we have a few to go over, we'll do a faster clip than we normally do. So let's start with, who was our first one?
I think I was the first one.
Okay, Ken Sky Unlimited.com. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to share my screen. Make sure that you guys can see it, and then we'll start digging in. Everybody see it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. No. See, David's already given advice. He's like, this doesn't work. So here's the problem. As you animate the above the fold part of the home page, you distract the visitor from your very important next action you want them to take. So sliders, carousels, auto playing background videos, those sorts of things kill. Yeah, you want to hold that? They kill conversion. So don't just take my word for it. Here's some evidence of that. This is a bunch of experts in the conversion rate optimization CRO space saying, don't do it. Here's Chris Goward, there's Tim Ash, and Adam Fellows, et cetera, et cetera. So don't do it. Now that's specifically for sliders and carousels, but this is pretty darn close to that. And also autoplay videos. There's another blog post I could pull up with some evidence showing that those are bad too for conversion. And also, where is the next action? Where do I go? What am I supposed to do? Book free consultation is tucked away in the top right corner. If that is the call to action, the next action for somebody to take, it's too buried, kind of not front and center.
Okay.
And you might think, well, this animation thing is telling them what to do next, but where are they supposed to click? It just says you amaze, engage, and delight. It's another thing too, is what exactly do you do?
That's in the video right below.
So if I am impatient, which most internet users are, I may not bother to scroll or to dig into the video. In fact, the view count for a video like this, I'm guessing would be probably pretty surprisingly low. So if we go to your video.
Oh, it'll be low because I just put it up.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, never mind that. But yeah, you might get over several months, you might get hundreds of views and that's it. Whereas you might get thousands of visitors. You think, well, that's frustrating because I put all this time and energy into the video. It's a really good video. People just don't have time. They're trying to discern whether they're going to get value from your website and working with you, and they want to do it within seconds. Now, I like that you have a bit of text here, and it's kind of punchy. Well, not super punchy, but it's not a big wall of text, and you are bringing attention to the fact that you transform events from painful to powerful by using the bold. I do something a little bit similar by using highlight, yellow highlight on some sites, blue highlight on others. So you might try something like that, especially with testimonials. If you click on my results page, you'll see here there's yellow highlighting all over the place here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that works really well, especially with testimonials. If you're going to have testimonials, by the way, put those testimonials in order so that when somebody reads those yellow highlights, which they're not likely to read all of the text. So if you direct their eye through yellow highlights or bolding or something like that, it's really helpful to help kind of tell a story by arranging these in order.
Hey, Ken,
So-
Ken, it's a good looking website though, don't you think, Stefan? I mean,
Yes,
graphics
it
wise, strategy.
it looks professional. It looks professional, but the problem that it probably has is I'm guessing it's not converting that well. Is that a correct assumption?
Well, I should probably give you a bit of background information. So a lot of these changes were just done the last 2 days.
Oh, okay.
And I have
so you don't have the
sizzle reel
data.
that will be, sorry?
You don't have the data to show whether it's working.
Yeah,
or not
and
yet.
whatever it was before didn't convert either. So I've been working on this, and what happened basically was that when I started doing these events, I got so busy I had no time to work on a website. But I've just been pushing some time in here and there because I have not gotten any inquiries from the site because all my work has been word of mouth.
Yeah.
But before I launch a campaign to do more marketing with Google ads or LinkedIn ads, I wanted to just optimize the site. So I've been working on this the last few days, and I have a sizzle reel coming that will be going on the top as well. But I thought I would get your feedback on what I have at the moment already, and
Okay.
then when I have that sizzle reel, where would be a good place to put it. So I did feel conflicted with the video being below the fold there. That actually demonstrates what I do versus the animation. But at the same time, I put the animation there because I wanted people to see that it is going to be different than what they expect from most of these virtual event production things that pop up. It's more
Well,
elegant than what the
This
typical
doesn't
average.
convey that you are different. It's just a little animation thing. It's not it's not presenting you powerfully.
Right.
So,
if
for
I had the sizzle
example,
reel, would you put it right on top there, sort of like what you had with image and with a click here play button and not a autoplay?
yeah.
Okay.
So that play button, if you click on it, it actually takes you lower down the page instead of a pop-up. And the reason why is it's just the video is already embedded. The YouTube video is already embedded lower down on the page. Why introduce additional friction in the process? Just take them down to that part of the page, and then there's other stuff there, more social proof. There's social proof everywhere throughout the page. You can hardly scroll anywhere and not get social proof. Whereas if you look here, actually, let me just. You're doing a pretty good job though with your social proof. Here's a spot where there's no social proof.
I think I'm gonna be
And-
fixing that part there more too. But yeah, I did spread it all over the website. Maybe just not as dense as.
So where's a
There's
as
another
seen
one there
on
in the
logo
bottom.
bar?
I'm sorry.
I'd like to see an as seen on logo bar, ideally above the fold.
Okay.
Yeah. So Zoom, WebEx, those aren't clients of yours, right?
No, that is because people weren't sure if I do it on Zoom or what platform. So I just named a few of the most common ones out there. But if I did, instead of those things there, if I just had the animation run once and then stop and then have a button show pop up that says play video, that would take
Well,
them
why
down.
do
Would
you
that-
want? Why do you need the animation at all? Because I encourage you to do a test where you just have a still frame
Okay.
and see if that performs better. And you really do need a button here above, like front and center, that says whatever the next action is. What do you want them to do? I would not advise that it's book a strategy call or free consult or something like that, because they're not ready for that. They don't know if you're the right fit for them yet. It's too much too soon. It's like
Okay.
asking somebody before you've even had a first date if they want to get married. So that's going to freak them out, and or they're just not gonna. They're going to be numb to that. They're not going to be interested in it. So you
Well,
got to
I'm a
present some
Mennonite,
sort of.
and sometimes that's how we do it.
What's that?
I am a Mennonite, and sometimes that's how we do it. I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
That's funny. So if you have an irresistible offer, like the 10 biggest mistakes that virtual event producers make, or the 5 most important tools for successful events that hardly anybody is using. I'm just making up headlines here, titles of these free downloads, or what would be another example? Like,
I do have the guide on the bottom. I don't know if you saw that. Would you bring that up higher?
where's that guide?
Right there. Scroll up in the blue.
Okay. 5 tips to look professional in virtual meetings. That's not compelling.
Okay.
You need a better headline. What are the tips?
It's a lot of it is common sense. It's things that you would share with your team to make sure that your company is represented properly, so that they know how to set up their lighting, their sound, not to have a cluttered background, how to consume food, those types of things. Where
Okay.
to look when you talk.
So I would reframe that. You could use the same tips, but say the 5 or 10 or whatever biggest mistakes that professionals make in virtual meetings that make them that make the event unprofessional. Now that's a little long. It's not perfect yet, but it's along the lines of what would intrigue people more and get them to click. So you got to sexy it up a bit.
Okay. And would you then still have them opt in to get that, or would you just have it as information on the page?
Yeah, I would have them opt in for it. I'd
Okay.
also make it a offer on the on an exit intent pop-up. Do that site wide. And this boring cover, you got to fix that up. You got to sexy that up too.
Yeah.
And it needs to be consistent with the title of the thing. I'm confused as a user because it's 5 tips to look professional. Oh no, it's not. It's a guide to being your best online. So which thing am I getting? And it's a weird angle too. I don't know why it's tilted like that. If you look at stephenspencer.com again, you'll see a typical kind of pretty much straight on, but at a slight angle. So let's see what that looks like. See how that looks a little more professional and substantial, whereas yours looks really thin and it looks like a one-pager.
It's the 2-pager.
Okay, but it doesn't need to look that way. It's going to look more interesting and compelling and more substantial.
Yeah, you're
if it looks like it's a few pages at least.
Stefan?
Yeah.
Are we? This is my first time in your group, and but I have a thought for Ken.
Yeah, go for
it. That I can just. So we all know, what Ken is saying is that he will give you 5 tips to look better on Zoom. So I've got a compelling idea. Lights, cameras, actions to look your best. So we take lights, camera, action, but it's actions and it's all plural. And to me, that looks a lot more exciting than 5 tips to help you look more professional. That looks so boring to me, I can't stand it. But lights, cameras, actions with spacing in between those 3 words seems to be like a nice headline for them. What do you think?
A good idea.
And can I make a comment, Stefan?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think there's synergies here. Freddie, I didn't know this was your first time, and you're in for a treat because Stefan is the best at this. And what Freddie's doing now, Ken and I have been trying to help some of our brothers with their online presence, but Ken's, if I understand right, his business is to how to put on exactly what you're going to do, Freddie, these Zoom sessions, right, Ken? So it's not just the individual looking their best, but I think how you can run a better Zoom session with lots of attendees, right? And look professional and more successful. Is that right, Ken? It's not just
not in that guide. That is what I do professionally. I produce the events myself.
got it, but the guide is for individual. Okay.
Yeah, so the guide is basically a tool. Give this to your staff so they will all look more amazing. And if I produce a magical event experience for your company, you want to make sure that your team looks good too, and that they know how to best be their best online.
Here's a radical idea for you, Ken.
Sure.
What if you offered a $97 version of that was white labeled and brand, well, not white label, maybe gray labeled or whatever the thing is, like it's still got your name on it. You still get attribution credit as the author, but it's got the brand of the company. Let's say that I have 2,000 employees and I want to distribute this document to all 2,000 employees and say, do this for all of your internal meetings. And anytime you're on a Zoom, like mastermind or workshop, do these things so that you reflect our brand. And it's got their brand on it. And for $97, heck, I would pay that. That's like nothing. I'm just making up the price here. But the idea of paying a small amount of money, using that as a tripwire in order to potentially get a lot more value and deal flow from this company in the future, because you're providing significant value for a very low price up front.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like that.
And you could show an example, and you could offer, it's even better, offer a company that you've worked with in the past or that is a prospect this as a freebie without charging the $97 and say, now normally I charge for this, but I want to offer this for free and to you because of whatever reason, and I would love a testimonial or some sort of quote from you if the team gets and you get value from it. See, I did a free SEO audit back in like 2001 to Target.com, a very in-depth audit in exchange for a testimonial and use of their logo. So it was a free audit that they should have paid many thousands of dollars for, but we were just trying to get a foothold in the SEO auditing space. We were doing SEO in just building that into e-commerce websites that we were doing for clients, but we didn't have like a standalone audit offering. When we wanted to offer that, we needed a big name so that people would say, oh, this guy, this company is pre-selected. They're super legit, super credible, because Target.com is a client. So if you can get somebody big like Intel or Cisco or somebody else like that to say, oh, sure, I'll give you a few words, to help you with your marketing if we get some good feedback from our our staff about this piece. Yeah, I think that's going to work out really well for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We didn't even cover SEO yet, but let's switch to another. I actually need to plug into power here before I lose it. But yeah, this I think will keep you busy for a little while, and I'm quite certain you're going to get some results out of that.
Thank you so much, Stefan.
Hey, you bet.
Hello, everybody. What's up? How do you
Yeah, right.
how do you make it so the view of the people
Great.
and the view of the full screen are two separate? I had it for a second, and now it's.
I just put it in the chat, everybody. I was just telling Ken, if you like that lights, cameras, actions, it's the saying has been around for, I don't know, 50 years, right? Lights, camera, action. Cameras singular, action is singular. But in this case, every word is plural. Lights, cameras, actions. And that's what I think makes it incredibly powerful for you specifically.
Yeah, I do like that, Freddie. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for the input. I really appreciate it.
What you could do, Ken, is you could test Freddie's title against something that's more kind of clickbait-ish, like what you'd see in a BuzzFeed headline. I think I gave an example of 5 biggest mistakes that make professionals look unprofessional on Zoom, something like that.
Yeah,
and see which one performs better.
Good idea.
'Cause I have a feeling that mine might outperform Freddie's.
Should we put a bet on it?
We could.
Let's do it, man. Come on.
1 Bitcoin.
I was just gonna say,
The crypto
anybody
bet.
want to invest in the stocks, Cheyenne?
Stefan, I just have one comment about split testing between a positive and a negative frame. So there's the 5 biggest mistakes, but the flip side of that is the 5 whatever that makes your event soar or whatever. Has it been much research comparing positive versus negative frames and split testing?
Well, that's a great point. And actually, I want to tell you about something called the evil twin. I don't think I've mentioned this before. Essentially, the idea here is that if you wrote an article that you published on your blog, and let's say that it was the 5 biggest mistakes that professionals make on Zoom to instantly become unprofessional. The flip side of that, or the evil twin, might be the 5 best practices that all Zoom superheroes, or all like the superstars on Zoom do in order to do their magic or whatever, right? And that's not the right title, but you're just flipping it. So and the reason why you do this is because you may want to use that content and on that research on another venue. Like, let's say that you have a column on Forbes.com or Inc. or Entrepreneur. For me, I have a column with Adweek, for example, and I actually have to assign copyright of whatever I write for them to Adweek. I don't even own what I write for them, but what I can do is take that research that I wrote for my blog post and flip it, do an evil twin. It's pretty much the same article, but rewritten, paraphrased, with a new title that sounds completely different because it's the opposite. If it's the 5 best practices, now it's the 5 biggest mistakes, or it's the 5 myths, or the 5 lessons, or whatever. It's just a turnaround. So that evil twin idea I got from Andy Crestodina years ago, and who's another SEO in the industry. And I just thought that was brilliant, because now you take the same work and you double the output. And if you don't have a column somewhere, get one. Start pitching, because a lot of online magazines and journals and newspapers and so forth, they need free content. And if you are a great resource, thought leader, results leader, they're going to say yes to that.
Thank you.
So I know that's not an exact answer to the question, but it did spur on, I think, a good tip there. And
Absolutely.
where did Rick go? Did we lose him?
Yeah, he's actually a doctor. I think he had a patient that came in.
Oh,
He's
okay.
coming to you from his office.
Oh yeah, he said he wrote in the chat, got to get back to work. Okay. I was in the middle of answering his question. He's like, I don't like this answer. I'm out of here. Okay. So our next site is going to be Freddy's.
All right. Are we
Yeah.
allowed to say anything before everyone starts looking at it? Or
I think it's best if we don't, actually,
okay,
because
I'm not going to say anything, but
you don't have that opportunity for a first-time visitor.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're about to enter my site, but before you do, I want you to know this thing and this thing.
All right, here we go. I'm going to get my ass
Here we
kicked.
go, deep
I
breath.
know it already.
No, I'm doing this with love, man.
All right. All right.
Here we go. Okay. So what is the, I don't know, the differentiator for you that sets you apart from everybody else? Like out of all the folks that somebody could hire to speak or perform or teach or coach or whatever, like you are unique, right?
Yeah, I believe I mean, just to be very candid, I don't think there's another speaker on the market like me.
Yeah, I
don't
would
think
agree
there's
with you.
anybody out
and this
there
does
that
not
has that.
convey that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So strength, and then I have to wait. Success, and then I have to wait.
Okay.
Amplify clarity. I don't even know what that means. It sounds cute, but it doesn't. Like connectivity, I can get that from a router, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can get that from a Wi-Fi repeater.
Right. Okay. Very unclear.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't
yeah.
mean anything to me.
Mhm.
So I would try to focus this on the value you deliver to the visitor, and what does that mean for them? What do they get? What will they be? What will they become by you handing them like the keys to the kingdom, or this new superpower that they're going to have?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because then it's about them. Because strength, success, amplify clarity doesn't seem to be about me, the visitor. It seems to be about you. I mean, you are here on the screen right next to all those things. And then it's watch Freddie speak. So it's like, okay, this is a guy who kind of thinks he's a big deal.
Wrong signal.
Yeah. Did anyone else kind of confuse that, or kind of think that maybe was referring to Freddie and his content rather than you as the visitor? Like, who saw this amplify clarity and success and connectivity and thought that was about you as the visitor? Anyone?
See, I know Freddie's mission. I don't want to speak yet. I want to let you finish, Stefan, because also I'm getting so familiar with your work. I think Freddie's trying to do something that may not be obvious yet, but yeah, so I'm going to hold my comment for now.
Okay, yeah, because you've got the inside scoop. I mean, I know a lot about what Freddie does, and I'm still trying to look at this with fresh eyes without just imagining I don't know what he
Right.
does, trying to piece together like
So
what
then-
does he do, and I need to
Yes.
do it within just a few seconds. As a first time visitor, I'm going to be very impatient. I need to figure out like what is the what's the shtick here? What's why am I on this website? What's he offer? Why should I care? What do I do next?
Then let
Other
me
than
ask
watch,
this. If you go,
yeah.
if you go back to his head page, that Life in Tune, which is even on this page, but it's on his landing page. If he were to say your life in tune, if that were bigger, would that help clarify his message?
That sounds like a brand. It doesn't sound like a value proposition yet. So Life in Tune, well, it says Life in Tune, not your life in tune. And I don't know what that means yet. I don't know if that is a product or a service. I don't know if it's a statement about who I could become, or if it's a statement about what he offers, or the name of a book, or the name of an online course. Or it's not clear. And clarity is everything here.
Agreed. Is at some point when you're ready for me to say some things, it would be great for me to bounce ideas off of you guys, but I don't want to interrupt this list of first impressions. So I'll shut up until I can say a few things, because I'd love to get your feedback.
Okay. So let me just give you a few more thoughts, and then we'll have you provide some additional color and background. You really should have a couple of buttons in the top nav that most websites have. And the reason why I'm going to say add these is because you don't want to break the paradigm of the internet. And let's say you rent a car from Avis or Hertz or whatever, and the car put steering wheel in the back seat, or it puts the turn signal on the other side of the steering wheel, or it puts the gear shift in the glove compartment or something like that. So if you either put stuff in non-intuitive places or hide stuff or name things in a non-intuitive way, it confuses people, and it breaks the flow of them perusing your site. So about is pretty much standard on most websites, and you don't have that. So I'm not sure where I would find information about you.
Mm.
And then contact is as fundamental and important as having a phone number on your business card.
Got it.
So booking, I'm not ready to book you. I don't know enough about you to know that that's what I need to do, but I do want to contact you and ask you a question, or somebody referred me to talk to you. Where do I go? Like, where's the contact? I don't know how to contact this guy. Okay. Next up. Okay, so now we've got Meet Freddie Ravel. Is that the about page?
Yes.
Okay. And that's not clear to me. And I know it's up here, that speaker. It doesn't convey to me that that's your about.
Okay.
And then this is cool. Even though I don't normally like autoplay, you're very engaging. So yeah, I actually don't mind that being on autoplay. It's not, this is distracting, having a background that's moving around, and then the
having to wait for each word several seconds is frustrating, or I think would be frustrating for a lot of people. This is really cool. I love your impact metrics. I would love to see those impact metrics above the fold, or at least some social proof logos of clients or big events or publications, media outlets that have covered you, right? If you presented at CES, for example, and to have that CES logo above the fold along with the others would be really impressive.
There's a bunch of that scrolling down, a whole bunch of it, all that.
Yeah.
There it is.
So that's great, but it's a little overkill. I would save this for a page, like a results page. That's another thing too. Like, where am I going to see the results that you generate? Results or outcomes. A lot of people have testimonials or praise. I actually think results is more powerful because that speaks to the end game that the visitor is after. Right? I want to see what results you generate for organizations, companies like me, like mine. And so you would have a small set of logos, just one line, and not scrolling, not auto rotating or anything like that. And then on the results page, that's where you could put the bigger list with the logo. So that's what I do on my stuffandspencer.com page site on the results page. So here I've got some as seen on logos, and then at different places I'll have different types of logos depending on what I'm trying to convey. So let's go to the speaking page, and there it's all about where have I spoken. I've spoken at Stanford University. So that logo goes there instead of the clients I've served. The clients, those logos, see how I have just a single line there, but then I do have a client list section with a much bigger set of logos. That's similar to what you have on your Life in Tune homepage. Right?
Okay.
But I save this for my results page. Otherwise, I think it's a little too braggy.
Right.
And just one row of your best clients, the biggest household names. I think that's super powerful and punchy. And you could make it clickable and go to the results page, and even to the section of the results page that has all the logos on it, if you'd like.
Stefan, the trick with me that's been very tricky is that I might be the only person that I know in the speaking world that can put Madonna, Prince, Walmart, IBM, NASA all in the same sentence. And
well, that's amazing. What if you did that all in one line, and then you cut out all of the other things here? Like, I don't see Madonna here. I don't see
because she's not a
Prince.
Fortune 500 and she's not corporate. And the people that are hiring me are corporate entities that are looking for me to inspire their teams. That's the thing. And a lot of them.
Social proof is it cuts through all of the due diligence that's required. If I know that you've worked with Madonna and Prince and Google and Disney and TED and the Grammys, I'm like, okay, where do I sign?
Right.
I don't need to know that you've worked with not just Toyota, but also Volkswagen and Volvo. And like, okay, that's great. I mean, those are some great names, but the diversity and the super credibility. And when I say super credibility, that's not just a word. There's a concept there that I think is really critical for you guys to get. And I learned this from Peter Diamandis, the creator of the X Prize, who runs the Abundance 360 conference and co-founder of Singularity University. What he had done when he came up with the X Prize is he made an announcement from a stage that had on that same stage 8 astronauts or 9 or whatever it was. What's that? Oh, and let's see, a former deputy director of NASA, I think, was also on the stage with him. So when he made the announcement about the X Prize, nobody thought to ask, does he have the $10 million prize in the bank? Does he actually have that money? That's the prize. But you know what? He didn't. Nobody thought to ask because he had super credibility. All those astronauts and deputy director of NASA on stage with him to talk about the X Prize, nobody thought, okay, show me the money. So when you have super credibility, that just, you get a pass. You get a pass directly to go. All right. It's pretty amazing. So if you can convey that, even though you're not trying to, even though what you said, they're big Fortune 500 corporates that they need to know that you've worked with some other Fortune 500, but boy, is it powerful to name drop Madonna and Prince, and you're doing that essentially in a little logo bar above the fold. It's like, wow, you had me at hello if you do it there.
So I'm playing my cards in the wrong order, and I know Harry has been holding up his hands.
Yeah, go for it, Harry.
A million questions for you, Stefan and Freddie. I don't think we're gonna have time, unfortunately, to see what you do, Stefan, with all those awesome tools you have, right? Because this is a great critique and we'll get him better search. But does anything come to mind to you that you, because he's got these tools, Freddie, where he can test what works and he can show you what people are searching for. I love the idea of putting Madonna and you know, and all those guys in there, but Stefan's got strategies that get people to look at you, and he's got these tools that will blow your mind with keywords and stuff. I didn't know if you wanted to speak about that at all, Stefan.
Yeah, so that's a great point. Nice segue, thank you. If you look at the title of your homepage, it's Life in Tune with Freddie Revell, keynote speaker, communication expert, business leader. Now imagine being a meeting planner, conference organizer, the creator of a mastermind or a big corporate a planner for events, or in the HR department or the strategy department of a Fortune 500 company, whoever it is that is your ideal target. Are they typing in any of these words into Google? Are they typing in business leader? Are they typing in communication expert? I mean, they might be typing in keynote speaker, but here's the problem. Every single professional speaker on the planet has put those 2 words in their title tag.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to rank on page 1 for keynote speaker. There's no way. Simon Sinek and Malcolm Gladwell and Arianna Huffington and so forth, they're the ones that are going to rank on page 1 for keynote speaker. So
can I ask you something, Stefan? I have a title that was given to me by the city of LA 10 years ago, and it's out there on the internet. It's Keynote Maestro. Although I don't think people are typing in maestro, M-A-E-S-T-R-O, but it's a juxtaposition of a musical master and a keynote speaker put together. And if you type that in, my name comes up pretty quickly. It's just that I don't think the world is looking for a keynote maestro.
Yeah, actually, I don't think anybody is. So let's try that for a second. I'm going to use Moz Keyword Explorer to confirm that. But let's also check business leader and communication. What was the other thing? Communication expert or something? I forget. Anyways, we can look at it in a second. So here we go. We're going to log in to moz.com. And the tool that we're going to use inside of moz.com is the Keyword Explorer. We'll go ahead and put in, let's start with Keynote Maestro. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is across the United States. Here we go. Here's how much. Oh, it's a 0.
Wow.
Not
So
even you. You're not even
me.
searching for it.
I don't even come up. There I am. I'm number 2.
No, and what I'm saying is that you aren't even searching for it.
Right.
Right? You're calling yourself that, or somebody's calling you that, but nobody is Googling that, including you.
Right. Okay.
Because there's a 0 here, or it's data not available, which is the same thing as a 0.
Mm.
Okay, so now let's try business leader. That is so generic. I don't even know who's going to be typing that in. Maybe a middle school kid trying to do a school report about what makes a business leader successful or something. I don't know, but it's probably not going to be your ideal clientele. So here we have 500 to 850 searches per month. That's not fantastic. This is an across the entire United States over an entire month. So that's not huge. Let's go back to okay, it was communication expert. Okay, we'll try that. Okay, so here we got 100 to 200. And the reason why it's giving a range here is because that range is 95% accurate minimum. So at maximum, it's 200 searches a month. And that's not just people. That's like one person maybe checking their rankings for communication expert once a day. And that's 30 searches of the 200.
That's really bad. What prompted me to jump in today real quick is somebody on LinkedIn, a meeting planner, typed in the word engagement, leadership, and collaboration, and my name came up somehow. And they took the time to look at my video, because when you look at my videos, things really start to pop. And when you start to see my video content, and you see me speaking in front of 6,000 people, she went, "Oh, I want to see this." So, and that translated into an engagement. We actually got a booking as a result. Awesome. So I'm caught. So for the first time in my whole career has been word of mouth. Everything that's happened to me in my life is just referral through word of mouth.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I got something through LinkedIn, which of course has always been a very dubious thing, but this thing really happened. And
well,
we're
that's
going to
awesome.
do an engagement. So I would love, I don't want to eat up everyone's time. I know there's 5 minutes left, but Stefan, I would love to be able to follow up with you and get some marching orders. And
yeah, happy to help. Happy to help.
I really would, because, and Harry's been, but many people on this call, my metal brothers, have been very helpful to me in different ways. Because the trick with me is I've had a very deep and the scope of my career has been probably one of a kind. There's not too many people that have played with Madonna, Prince, and Santana, and spoke to IBM and NASA all in the same breath, or Dr. Martin Luther King's family and wrote books with those people. So it's an incredibly wide thing, and that's because I'm a person who loves many aspects of human potential in music. So my life is a blend of that. And I've had a lot of quirky but incredible successes and in interesting ways, and I need to put it under one umbrella. That's why Life in Tune is a brand that I'm behind, because I believe that covers the scope of what I've done. Yeah. And I'm working on a tagline, which is along the lines of striking success with the rhythm in you. Because by saying it that way, I'm acknowledging that rhythm is a given with everyone on the planet. Music is not. Not everyone loves music, but rhythm is like, if you're in a physical body, you're living in rhythm. You have to. And striking success is like striking the keys of the piano, strike up the band, strike gold, you know, and it's an unusual juxtaposition of words. Strike and success, you usually don't hear those together. And it has passion, it has strength. And, you know, that's the driver of everything I'm doing too.
Yeah.
So that's
Well-
not on the website. That way, and this website was built before COVID, so it doesn't have anything about virtual. But just in what you've shared tells me I have I have a lot of flipping to do and a lot of restructuring to do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to learn more, and I'm very grateful for everyone to take a moment to look at this.
Yeah, and I'm happy to dive deeper into this with you. If you want to book a call with me, talk to Stefan.com is my calendar. And yeah, we'll deep dive on this. And we don't have time, unfortunately, to go any further in this call, because I do have a call at the top of the hour in 2 minutes. But one thing I will leave you with is, if somebody is referred to you, probably the first thing they're going to do is Google you. Right? They're probably not going to go directly to lifeintune.com. They're
Right.
just going to be Googling Freddie Revell, because that was the name that was given to them by the trusted friend or colleague.
Right.
And you need to control the narrative here, because this makes you look like a musical artist, and they probably don't want somebody performing a gig. They want a keynote speech or something like that, right? So this knowledge panel over on the right hand side really positions you as a musical artist very well, but none of the corporate stuff comes through at all here. So this is based on your Wikipedia article. If you can get somebody who has some street cred inside of Wikipedia to make some tweaks to your Wikipedia article so that it mentions that you're a keynote speaker and that you have all these corporate clients and so forth as well in the first couple of sentences, that would really help. And then you need to claim your knowledge panel, because it's unclaimed right now. Once you claim it, then you have the ability to make suggestions. And let's say there's a photo that you prefer not be used there and something else be used instead, you can suggest edits. Say I'm logged in and I've claimed my knowledge panel, so I can suggest edits. And I really like my knowledge panel because it's got book covers and it's got my, all Wikipedia.
I have, that's great, Stefan. I didn't even know about that. I had no idea about the knowledge panel. And interestingly enough, I had nothing to do with my own Wikipedia. Someone else wrote that. And if you open up my own Wikipedia, it's someone from the Earth, Wind, and Fire era. And I worked with Earth, Wind, and Fire in the early 90s. So their reference point on me is 27 years ago. Which has nothing to do with my speaking.
But it's great though, because you didn't have anything to do with it, and it would be very clear to somebody who's a Wikipedia kind of spam police person that they would say, "Oh yeah, this wasn't created by a friend of Freddie's."
It's neutral. I didn't even know it was there until a couple of years ago, and I very much want to have somebody. I'd like to hire somebody to take in all my assets and get it up there, and maybe that's something we can discuss later.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your generosity.
You're welcome.
Everybody.
You're welcome. I'm sorry we didn't get further along. We didn't talk about Clubhouse. I know somebody had a question around that, and there was another site I wanted to go over, but never enough time. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Stefan, thank you.
Thank you, Stefan.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank
you so
take care,
much.
guys. See ya.
Awesome. Thank you.